These things are gonna be extra loud during the video, so you know what? We're not even gonna fucking bother. Right there. Nope. We're not gonna deal with them. Free! We're free! Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Clout, and my back fucking hurts. I love that I opened Reddit to this. Get out of here, get out. Those who know. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna read Reddit stories, because I like Reddit stories a lot, actually. I actually really wanted to make a video like this for a while, but I should probably stare at the camera instead of my face. I've actually wanted to make videos like this for a while, but like I wasn't sure if you guys would like them. You know, I just wanted to do something different other than like talking about like whatever's on my mind, because you know, there's not really that much of an audience for it anyways. I mean, I'm sure there is, but my videos were very aimless. We're gonna read Am I the Asshole stories, because I like those stories a lot. Like a whole bunch of Michael Myers, like subreddits. I have a problem. Ooh, wait, the title on this one is pretty good. Wait, what should I even call this other than a-hole, like a-hole or something? Am I the butthole for putting a I have such fucking potty humor, this is dumb. Am I the butthole for putting a stop to my 12-year-old daughter's period party? Wild. Let's read it. Let me set the stage. My wife and I, 43 male, 42 female, have 2 daughters, 7 years apart. 19-year-old was at college in a different state when this happened. Girls are very different. 19-year-old is outgoing, even extroverted, loves meeting new people, trying new things, etc. 12-year-old is shy, a homebody, finds things she's comfortable with and sticks with them. In fairness, 19-year-old was kind of like this until she was 16 or so. Maybe it's genetic, XD. A couple months ago, 12-year-old comes to me in my home office, obviously upset. Stammers a bit, then manages to tell me she just got her first period. I play the supportive dad, comfort her, and get her a box of sanitary pads my wife had bought earlier in the year, guessing this was going to happen sooner or later, and go over the instructions with her. She goes into her bathroom, does what she has to do, thanks me for my help. I got her some ice cream and middle, told her there was nothing to be embarrassed about, and she can always come to me for anything. Okay, so far this is not bad. Where's the twist? I'm waiting for the twist. Oh god, I sniffed in my nose so hard. Oh god. Wife gets home later that day. 12-year-old tells her what happened. Wife starts crying. My little girl is growing up, etc. Then asks who should be invited to the period party, which I only knew of from listening to Bert Kreischer. I don't even know who that is. I don't even think I said that right. If they were a thing when our 19-year-old started, she never asked for one. Okay, so the 19-year-old didn't even ask for this, alright? 12-year-old immediately closes off, says she doesn't want a period party, doesn't want anyone to know, fair enough. Wife tries to talk to her some more, but 12-year-old ignores her and goes to her room. Wife tries to enlist my aid in changing her mind, but I tell her she said she didn't want one, don't worry about it. Okay, well, if the daughter doesn't want it, then like, I failed to see why you might be the asshole, but you know, let's wait for the twist, all right? 2 days later, I get home from running errands, and before I can even make it to the stairs, 12-year-old runs up to me and asks me if she can do her homework in my office. I'm confused, but say sure, and she bolts upstairs. At this point, I started to suspect what was going on and walked into the living room to find that my wife had not only decorated it in like something which wouldn't have looked out of place on my super sweet 16, but there were several family friends, all women, and a few I recognized from neighborhood mothers. I beckoned wife into the hall. She asks where 12-year-old is, and I tell her she wanted to do homework in my office. She rolls her eyes and starts to move past me, but I step in front of her. Here's how the conversation goes. Me, what are you doing? Wife, going to get 12-year-old. It's her party. Me, she told you specifically she didn't want one of those, or didn't. I promise I could read, okay? Me, she told you specifically she didn't want one of these. Wife, oh, she didn't mean that. This is an important time for a girl. She needs to know not to be ashamed of her body. Me, she's not. I already explained things to her. She just doesn't want to talk about it more. Wife, I don't expect you to understand. This is just for us women. She actually tried to push past me, but I stepped into the doorway and completely blocked her. Wife, what's wrong with you? Me, what's wrong with you? You know how shy 12-year-old is. You knew she didn't want you doing something like this, and you did it anyway. Okay, so far fair enough. So far, fair enough. If she didn't want it, the mom should not be pushing this on her. Like, so far, this dude is not the asshole, alright? But let's keep reading. Wife, I told you it's for her own good. We can't let her grow up with negative attitude towards something so natural. Me, and we're not. I told you. She knows what's going on. She's getting a handle on it. She just doesn't want to talk about it with anyone else for right now. Wife, well, it wasn't your business to tell her about it anyway. Me, you were at work. Was I supposed to ignore her for 4 hours until you got home? Wife, you could have called me. I would have come home. Me, it still would have taken you an hour. She was upset. I knew what was going on. I talked her through it. Wife, you don't know anything about it. It's never happened to you. At this point, I gave up. Point to my wife, no, I've never had a period, but I had 3 older sisters and lived in a lived-in girlfriend before my wife and I met. Plus, we've been married for almost 21 years. I'm pretty well versed. She again tries to move past me, but I don't move. Okay. Like, obviously this dude has never had a period, right? Fair enough. But, like, I kind of think the wife is, like, you know, pushing this a little too hard onto the, like, 12-year-old, right? If she doesn't, like I said, if she doesn't want the party, she doesn't have to have the party. Big fucking whoop, right? Honestly, I could see myself in this 12-year-old's shoes, right? You know, like, I didn't really care that much about, like, when I got my first time, but, like, I also wouldn't have wanted a period party. Like, that just, I don't know. Me personally, I would not want a period party, but only because, like, I just feel like that's incredibly embarrassing, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just go through the flow of things and be like, okay, I just had, you know, my first blood shark attack. Moving on, right? But yeah, I personally think, like, this dude is not in the asshole so far anyways, you know? Like, the daughter said she didn't want a period party, right? And fair enough, he doesn't know what it's like to have a period, but he knows enough, you know, considering he's had, like, several sisters and he's grown up, like, not grown up, but, like, he's had a girlfriend, like, live in his house for a while. So far, he knows, like, the gist of it, right? Like, he knows enough to be like, hey, you know, like, this is a perfectly normal thing, and, you know, and this is what you should do, this is how you should handle it, blah, blah, blah. Plus, like, I feel like, in his words anyways, that his conversation with his daughter was actually really good, you know, like, just telling her, like, hey, don't be ashamed of it, like, this is something that is natural, and it's okay to have this, it just means you're growing up, right? I think he handled it pretty damn well, if you ask me anyway. Me, no, 12-year-old doesn't want this, I'm not letting you make her do it. Wife, fine, have it your way. She goes back to the living room and tells the other ladies that the period party is off because I'm being, quote-unquote, a jackass. Okay. She don't even need to be doing all that. Low-key, she don't even need to be doing all that. I lose it, follow her in, and let the women know, calmly but in no uncertain terms, that I appreciate what they wanted to do, but 12-year-old made it explicitly clear that she did not want this party, and my wife is trying to pressure her into it. Several of the moms frown at her. My wife starts to backpedal, talking about how she didn't think 12-year-old was being serious. Girl, what? What? But I ignore her and begin taking down the decorations. Everyone clears out shortly, and once the coast is clear, 12-year-old comes back downstairs. My wife gives her a half-assed, in my opinion, apology. Again, saying she didn't think 12-year-old was serious. But 12-year-old also ignores her and just starts doing her homework in her usual place at the table. My wife was pissed at me for a week, claiming I undermined her authority as a parent, apparently by not helping her force our daughter into doing something she didn't want to do, and made her look back in front of the neighbors' moms by telling them she'd been doing this against our daughter's wishes. So am I the a-hole? We got an update. So far, this dude is definitely not the asshole. Like, if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. Don't fucking make her do it. If anything, that's gonna make her feel even more embarrassed about it, which is gonna make her feel even more ashamed about it. I think the wife is low-key, the asshole, if you're asking me. Like, I think she's pushing this, like, way too hard on her daughter. Also, like, this isn't something that, like, all women do. Not all women do period parties, right? Like, that's... I mean, I don't think so. And I don't know. Like, I've never had a period party either. I don't see the point in having a period party either. So, like, you know, like, why did she have to do that? All right, so here's the update. Hey everyone, thought I'd post an update. Yes, it's quick, but it's just a further explanation plus some commentary, okay? Had to split it into 2 because it was too long. Oh boy, We're gonna be here for a minute. First, I'd like to thank everyone who supported my decision. Second, to those who decided I'm AI or used ChatGPT to write this, nothing I can say will convince you one way or other. So do your thing, man. Smiley face. Third, I'm not going to divorce my wife or anything like that. She's an incredible woman, and as corny as it sounds, my one true love. Okay, that's cute. That's really cute. She's been an amazing mom, never done anything like this before, wasn't planning on posting it to social media. She barely even uses Facebook. She just made a misstep here, for reasons which I will get into shortly. I can't respond to every comment, but I'll expand on some which caught my attention. 12-year-old did in fact get the talk from my wife when she turned 12. So she knew what was happening, but it was still something she hadn't experienced before, so it threw her a little. I emailed my two closest sisters, and they both said, in their opinions, her reaction was normal. As one of them put it, even at best, it can be a shock. So after a few days, things around the house went back to normal. Wife cooled off, 12-year-old began talking to her again, and they didn't appear to have any issues, except that 12-year-old began coming to me more often about things instead of her mom. Oh boy. Wife obviously noticed, as they'd been very close before this and was hurt, but said nothing. I guess she'd figured she deserved it. Finally, we got back from taking 12-year-old to school. Wife asked if 12-year-old was still angry with her. I said I didn't think so, and wife just kind of deflated. She looked so miserable that I actually got worried and asked if she was still angry. Wife said no, then admitted that she'd fucked up and gotten too into the concept of what others here have called menstruation celebration, which is a great phrase. It even rhymes. She said she'd been so focused on making sure a 12-year-old had a positive experience that she brushed aside her reluctance to take part. And in my wife's defense, 12-year-old regularly does this. She'll say she isn't looking forward to doing something, but if she pushes past her shyness and takes part, nearly always has a good time. Okay, that would explain why she, thought she wasn't serious and stuff like that. So I guess that's a pretty good explanation on her part. So wife had thought this was just another example of 12-year-old doing that and didn't take it seriously. Then wife said something which threw me for a loop. She asked me if I thought 12-year-old hated her now. I was stunned and automatically replied, of course not. And then I kind of trailed off because I didn't really know what to say. Upset was what I finally settled on. Wife was quiet, then I asked her why she'd been so insistent, since she hadn't tried to do this for a 19-year-old. No drama there. 19-year-old got hers at 13 when they were out shopping. It was handled before they even left the mall. She said when 19-year-old started, it was such a busy day that she didn't really have time to think about it beyond. Quick, let's get to the bathroom so I can help. And it wasn't until after that wife really thought about her own first, which basically consisted of her being told virtually nothing beforehand by her emotionally manipulative mother. Oof. Yikes. They've been in no contact for 15 years. Damn. Barely being 12 when it happened, and when she did go to her mom, only been handed a box of pads and warned not to get pregnant. Nothing more was ever said about it between them. My wife had to learn nearly everything from a friend's mother. Yeah. That old woman is a piece of work. I'd probably cut contact too, low-key. Wife was determined she wouldn't behave like that toward 12-year-old when it happened, but as events show, she basically went too far in the other direction. Then she asked me what I thought she could do to fix this. I told her the truth. 12-year-old probably wasn't going to feel comfortable confiding in her again for a while, but if she really wanted to apologize, she should tell 12-year-old what she just told me. And so she did. Wife went to pick 12-year-old from school, and when they got home, I saw they'd both been crying, but also seemed happier. That's kind of nice, honestly, that they had such a heartfelt conversation and all. It turned out I wasn't quite right, and 12-year-old had still been harboring some resentment toward wife for trying to push her into the period party. But after hearing wife's story, 12-year-old decided to forgive her, only asking that wife promise not to do something like that again. And 2 months later, this happened in May, things between them seemed back to normal. And it kind of seems like, the wife realized hey, I kind of fucked up, in defense on the wife's part too, she wasn't really taught any of this too, so I'm sure she holds very weird feelings about it and stuff like that may not be for the normal person, right? Or normal period haver, right? So in her defense, yeah, this kind of makes sense why she did react that way, but thankfully she did learn hey, maybe I shouldn't even be doing that to my daughter, and trying to push this feeling onto her is not going to be as, helpful as I might think it'd be. Hearing the update too, I don't even think the wife's an asshole anymore, At first I thought maybe she was just being a hard ass about it, but that was also halfway into the story, Yeah, no, I don't even think anybody's the asshole, in the end. Let's find another story. Oh. I think I found a good one. Wait, would I be the butthole if I ended a relationship before her dirty 30? What? Wait, I gotta see this. And this one isn't very long, all right? This is a short one, it seems. So, we're gonna get through this one quick. I, 25 male, have been dating this woman for 3 years now. Oh, 3 years is a long time. I haven't even reached 3-year mark with my boyfriend right now. Oh. In a few weeks, she's going to celebrate her dirty 30. Why are you calling it that? That's weird. I don't like that. No. And has been giving me lists of things she wants. Apparently, I'm supposed to get 30 different gifts. Okay, wait. Hold on. Because she's 30, she deserves 30 gifts. Okay, wait. I gotta backpedal. Hold on. I still don't get why you're calling it Dirty 30, but let's just keep going. Her surprise party is already being planned from the very little information I received. The party was her idea from the beginning. I also basically passed down the responsibility to her best friend. A portion of her expectations for her dirty 30 is why I wanted to end things. I can't explain why it frustrates me. I just feel tired. It's all she talks about since this month started. I talked to my dad about this situation and his advice was, keep her happy. It will be easier in the long run. My mom also said it would be awful if I ended the relationship before her celebration. Yeah, that's fucking awful. That's high-key really awful, okay? Like, yeah, you can break up with somebody for like any reason that might be, right? But to do it right before her celebration, no. She said turning 30 is hard on women. I don't think 3 years together is long enough for me to feel like I'm losing anything on this relationship. Would I be the butthole if I ended our relationship tomorrow or something? Edit. Thinking about why I have been feeling frustrated after reading some comments, it's not over gifts or the party. I don't mind spoiling her. We both for 3 years have spoiled one another. I knew from the beginning she was materialistic and that never bothered me. I am bothered by her handing me a list.
Oh, hell no.
It reminds me of my boss. I would rather be her romantic partner and not my boss. You don't mind her being materialistic, but you draw the line at her making a fucking list for her celebrate. What isn't this her birthday party? You're pressed about her making like basically a birthday list. No. I'm going out to meet my girlfriend for coffee. She knows by the tone of my voice that we are about to have a serious conversation. I'm going to tell her everything that I have written down. See how she reacts and discuss our relationship from that point. We may or may not break up. Sorry, but just based off this kind of seems like you're kind of the asshole. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you don't mind her being materialistic, but like you draw the line at her making basically a birthday list. Like, am I missing something here? Like, I don't. And to call it her dirty 30, I don't know. That just feels wrong. Like, but let me get some perspective from the comments, because maybe the comments have something better to say and have like maybe a better understanding. Because from my understanding, you kind of seem like the asshole, in my opinion. Wait till she turns 50. That list's gonna be lit. Grifty 50. She's gonna get a thrifty 50. Doesn't seem like you're the most compatible pair. You're more low-key, she's more extravagant. Nothing is wrong with that, but it sounds like if you continue this, it'll only be exhausting for you and disappointing for her. I think you figured out my exact feelings. I never had an issue with her being extravagant before, though. I don't understand when that changed. I do prefer small gatherings or not celebrating my own birthday. Hey, we change and we grow. As time goes by, we start to know what we really want or for our lives. You might be saying that to yourself. This is not what I want my future to be. That's why this situation doesn't feel the same way you are used to. Good luck with whatever you choose, OP. 22 to 25 is a lot of growing as a person. Oh, I actually didn't even recognize that, actually. Yeah, I guess it's fair to be like, maybe I don't really want to date a woman close to 30, but I don't know, the wording of it seemed really off, so that's why I was like, ugh. Hey, I think using the term dirty 30 is weird, it honestly low-key sounds a little bit misogynistic, sorry if that sounds too woke. I'm sorry if that sounds too woke, but it sounds slightly misogynistic if you ask me. I have always gone all out for her birthdays and holidays, so then what's the problem with getting her 30? What's the problem then? What's the problem with her, like, giving you a list? Am I missing something here? Am I crazy? I do mind being handed a list. I guess I got frustrated because that reminded me of my boss. I mean, if you're upset about one thing, being handed an extravagant list with the expectation that you complete it, why not just talk to her about it? Actually, yeah, that's a fair point. Why not just talk to her about it instead of being like, I want to break up? If there's other reasons, fair enough, but like if that's the only reason, then why not just communicate? I don't know, like it's not normal to like insist your partner get you 30 gifts. That's not normal either, you know? So I don't know, like the other commenter said, just talk about it. That would like be the best thing you could do, honestly, you know? And like if she's really that pressed about like you maybe like not doing it or you having like negative feelings about it, then yeah, maybe the relationship would not work, you know? I guess semi butthole, I don't know, like just semi butthole, the way you worded it was weird in my opinion. Am I the butthole for skipping my brother's wedding because I wasn't invited to the engagement party? This is a long one, we're gonna be here for a minute. I, 28 male, have a twin brother. Growing up, we were inseparable, and up until recently, I thought we were still very close. I was always more of a shy nerd, and he was an extrovert that played sports throughout our childhood and high school. But we spent almost all of our time together by choice. We went our separate ways when college came. He stayed local in Arizona, and I went to college in Portland. When I graduated, I stayed there because I fell in love with the city. My friends are here, my professional networks from internships were here, etc. But I always flew back home for holidays, events, birthdays, etc. My brother announced on Instagram that he and his girlfriend of 3 years got engaged. I was incredibly happy for him and texted him congrats. He mentioned they were planning to have an engagement party in 6 to 8 weeks, and I told him to let me know so I can book a flight to come celebrate. I was never told a date. If I brought it up with him or anyone in my family, they'd change the subject or say it's still being planned and confirmed. After a few weeks, I texted my brother to ask about the date because it must be getting close and I didn't want to pay for a last-minute flight. No response. What? Did this dude tell like all your family members to not tell you the date? What? There has to be like a good reason for this. I asked my mom for details and she said, it's not really an engagement party, just a small dinner with family. There's no need to come down for it. I eventually found out that it was, in fact, a big party. Oh boy. Oh, they rented out an entire restaurant for 4 hours and there were about 80 guests. Family, friends, cousins, everyone was told I couldn't make it. What? My aunt, who was like a second mother to me, texted me that she was very disappointed I couldn't make time to join, and I replied that I would have happily come, but I was not invited. Word spread quickly about my snub, and my parents and brother tried to say it was just a misunderstanding. That was almost over a year ago. Since then, I've tried to get to the bottom of why I wasn't invited. Over the course of months, it went from it was just meant to be a small gathering to I don't know what happened, there must have been a miscommunication, to it's just a party, it's no big deal. I asked my brother if he was mad at me. I thought maybe his fiance didn't like me. Even if she didn't want me there, why were my parents okay with this? This really wasn't like them. But yeah, that's bizarre as hell. Yeah, like what? And everybody keeps changing the story too. So like, that's really bizarre. Like I feel like there'd be some really big underlying reason for why they wouldn't invite you, but like, that's just so bizarre. Christmas and Easter was awkward as hell because no one but me wanted to address the elephant in the room, and any conversation about anything was like small talk with strangers. When I visited in May for my sister's birthday, I left early after my sister said, "You moved so far away. It's like you're not really family anymore. You make everything feel so weird now." This is so fucking bizarre. What? Like, what do you want the guy to do? Like, what? Your family sound awful. Like, bro, what? Jokes aside, this is really fucking bizarre. I don't have the slightest idea why your family would even be doing that. That's crazy work. 9 months ago, I got the save the date announcement, and 6 months ago, I got the invitation to the wedding. I wasn't asked to be in the wedding party, which is fine and wasn't surprising at the point. My sister and younger brother were asked to be in the wedding party, so another snub. I also didn't get a +1 from my girlfriend I've been seeing for almost a year and a half. My sister, however, got a +1 for her FWB. I don't know what FWB means. Oh wait, I know what this means. Friends with benefits. Okay, if that's what the abbreviation is, that's crazy. That's crazy work. So I decided I wasn't welcome and I was probably only invited for optics and to play Happy Family. I didn't RSVP, no. I didn't RSVP no since, okay, what, I guess that's a typo. Since I knew that would cause a shit show, I just didn't go. The wedding was this past weekend. No one contacted me about missing the rehearsal dinner, so I guess even if I did go, I wasn't invited to that either or expected to be there. I started getting calls and texts about an hour before the ceremony asking where I was, if my flight was delayed, how far along I will be, etc., and I ignored them. They stopped for a while during the ceremony but started up again right after. I finally picked up my mom's call and she screamed, "Where the hell were you?" I replied, "In Portland, where you all prefer me to be." She said, "This is your brother's wedding. How could you embarrass us?" I answered, "It's just a party. It's no big deal, right?" Oh, damn. That's oh, damn. This family, the tea is hot. It's boiling, man. It was probably the first time in my life my mother was speechless. After a few seconds of silence, I said, "Tell everyone I said hi," and I hung up. Now I'm getting calls and texts from everyone saying I was being petty and ruined the day. So am I the asshole here? I feel like I'm just matching their energy and dropping the rope. No, I don't think you're me personally, I don't think you're the asshole. Like, no, your family's being fucking weird by being like, well, no, it was just a party, like, you know, who cares if everybody was there? It was small. Oh, like, it was, you know, that's weird that they were so wishy-washy about that. And your sister to even say, like, you're never around and you're making everything weird. Like, no, you have every right to feel like you're not welcome. You have every right to feel like you're not welcome. And personally, I don't think you're the asshole. I think your family's being freaking weird. If I was in this dude's shoes, I'd be like, what the frick is going on? Like, because yeah, what the hell? Damn, yeah, and then they got pissed when you started matching their energy. Yeah, no, that's crazy work of them to be doing that. Let's look at the comments. So, I'd ask, if I have the power to ruin the day, why didn't you call when I missed the rehearsal dinner? If I was so important, why didn't anyone call me the weeks beforehand to find out why I hadn't RSVP'd? To find out my flight plans? Mom, you didn't notice that I wasn't the guest bedroom the night before? I suspect that it ruined the day because others remembered my existence and wanted to see me more than you all did. It has been clear from the get-go that I was not welcome and that me being there would ruin things. I wasn't invited to any of the pre-wedding festivities and sister said it was weird when I was there. My girlfriend of over a year wasn't welcome at all, so I stayed home with her. She likes having me around. Yeah, like your girlfriend actually likes having you around and your family don't for whatever fucking reason. Your family's fucking weird, bro. Don't forget to add, I wasn't even given a seat at the family table. So where was I meant to sit if I showed up? You all have made it clear you don't see me as family, so you can't be mad when I act the part. That's a great response. Treat me like a black sheep. I might as well play the part. Yep, I've lived this life. What it actually boils down to is jealousy that you'd actually move away to follow your dreams while everyone else was afraid to. So they just exclude you like you aren't family anymore for having the stones to do what they couldn't. I'd go LC/NC with the whole lot. That's exactly... Oh, like low contact, no contact with your whole lot. That's exactly what I did, and when I finally did, I was a lot happier for it. You can't let crabs live in your mind rent-free. I mean, I personally don't see how the reason could be that, like, they're jealous, but maybe I don't get it, you know, but... I guess I could kind of see that, but also that's just really bizarre to be jealous because, like, this dude followed his dreams, you know? I don't know. I find that very bizarre, and I still think the family is, like, really freaking weird for that. You'd be at the kids' table, most likely, yeah? I'd probably be at the fucking kiddie table just sitting there because they didn't fucking reserve a seat for him. Why did no one ask about OP's flight details or picking up from the airport? Because they didn't care in the slightest. This gets to the heart of the matter. Even after the supposed misunderstanding, no one checked in on any stage of travel planning. Opie's family started this beef. It is their responsibility to work to mend the rift, not the asshole. Yeah, dude, this dude's not the asshole. His family's freaking weird. The "you embarrassed us" comment kind of clued you in. After hearing about OP not being invited to the rehearsal dinner, then not seeing him at the wedding, they probably assumed he also wasn't invited to the wedding, and it was people thinking he wasn't invited and talking about it that ruined the wedding for them. And him bringing it up too, like he kind of has every right to know why the fuck he wasn't fucking invited. Like he has every right to know, and I totally get why he'd be upset about that, but for some reason everybody else is treating him like he's fucking weird for asking. Like, no, he has every right to ask, and he has every right to know why. Why didn't you invite him? They don't want gossip, but they also want to fucking exclude him from everything. Like, I almost wonder if, like, maybe the brother, like, you know, felt like, you know, like, hey, like, I don't, you know, like my brother's moved on and, you know, I'm getting married and everything, like, you know, I just want to like have something good, you know, because the bro's following his dreams, and you know, the only thing I got going on for me is my wedding. So the family's just like, okay, let's do the wedding and, you know, not invite the brother, like, because clearly he's got his own thing going on, you know. And then, you know, after, oh, you know what, it might be that, like, you know, they just like didn't invite him because they were like, oh, like he might be busy and stuff like that, you know, and like he isn't like really around much, so he might not mind not being here and stuff, even though he most likely would have. So really weird. You know, and they don't invite him, but then, you know, when he finally makes a big uproar about it, they realize, oh shit, maybe this was like a really bad idea and we should have invited him, and now we kind of look like the a-hole. Oh no. So then they got to do everything in their power to not seem like the a-hole, while also just straight up excluding him from fucking everything, you know. Definitely not the asshole. Your family's the asshole, actually. Your family's weird. Anyways, I think that's enough for Reddit stories. So, you know, hopefully you liked the video, because I actually kind of I did actually kind of enjoy like reading the stories and stuff and giving my personal input. But anyways, you know, if you did like the video, you know, like give it a like, you know, share it around with other people who might be interested in the video, you know, so we can get some, you know, views, and then I can see like, oh hey, like people are actually liking this, let's keep doing it, you know what I mean? I like Am I the Butthole stories because those are fun, you know. It's fun to like read all the tea going on in the family drama. But anyways, so yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have like a good day or a good evening. Oh, and another thing to mention, I did change the YouTube username and stuff. I changed it to Cloudoween instead of like, I think it was like Clout Cos or like Clout Cosplay. I'm trying to do like a kind of like a username change because, you know, I just wanted something that's a little more personal to me, a little more unique and everything. And the reason that I want to change it to Cloudoween is because not only is it still tied to my name Clout, you know, which I like my name Clout, you know, it's a fun goofy name that's just kind of like ingrained in my DNA now at this point, but it's also related to my like probably my biggest hyper fixation at the moment, which is Michael Myers. Also hit that subscribe button, that would be pretty fucking poggers. So I gotta stop cursing like a sailor. Anyways, bye bye.